This video is going to be all about lighting for food photography. Lighting is such a great topic and I could go on about it for days and days and days. Unfortunately, we've not got days, so I'm going to put what I can in this one video, and there'll probably be other videos in the future about lighting. What's up YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. This is a great channel for photographers to get some tips and tricks on everything to do with photography. If this is going to interest you, then subscribe and I'll have loads more content coming soon. So like I said, this video is going to be all about lighting, but specifically we're going to be talking about where we place the light when we're taking pictures of food. And we're going to talk a little bit about soft and hard light as well. You can use this lighting technique for other still life and product as well, and probably portrait, but specifically today I'm going to be talking to you about food. All you're going to need for this lighting setup is a window, something to take a picture of, and some diffusion material. This could be a sheet, some tracing paper, a curtain, anything will work. First thing we need to do is we need to get our lighting set up. So the best thing for you to do is to find a nice big window in your house, preferably north or south facing, because this light isn't going to be too harsh. If the sun's beaming right into the window, you're going to be getting some really crazy shadows going on. If you still find that your light is a bit too harsh for your liking, so maybe the shadows are a bit too dark or they're a bit too long, then what we could do is pop up a sheet. So I just used a sheet or some tracing paper. This is just going to soften that light and make it a lot more of a softer shadow, softer light, and a bit more diffused. This is like putting a big cloud over the sun. I live in Scotland, so it's not that bad here, but I will show you how I set up my diffuser. So after we've done that, we're going to get our studio set up. So get a nice big table right up to the light and set up your boards. I'm using some of my handmade boards. If you want to have an idea of how you can make your own, then watch this video up here, up there, watch that video. Now we've got that set up, we want to have the light on the side, so 90 degrees to your camera. So if your camera is here, the sun will be here and your board will be here and behind. Because we're going to take this picture straight on, we do have one behind. You could be taking it from above and you might not need one. That bit doesn't matter. Now we've got our setup, the one thing I really do want to talk about is the biggest thing to remember when setting up your lighting for food photography is don't take the picture with the sun facing the subject. So if I was here taking a picture, the sun was behind me, that's going to make the picture look really flat. It's going to make your food look really flat. When we think about food, we want it to see the texture and the shape of it, and for this we need to see the shadows. I took a quick example of an image with the sun facing the subject, so face on. This is what it looks like. It looks a lot flat. We've not got any of them nice shadows and we can't see the nice textures in the cupcakes I got. Make a YouTube video about lighting, excuse to get cupcakes. Another thing to remember when we're setting up for our shoot, make sure you've got all room lights off. So there's a light up here, or if you've got only little lights dotted about, make sure they're off. They're going to give a really strange colour cast to your image. Daylight is white light. When I use flash in my studios, that's also white light. That's the light we want to be using when we're taking pictures of food. It's the most flattering. You don't want a really cool looking food, or you don't want a really warm looking food. You want to be able to see what colour the food is. So for that we use white light. This is daylight or flash. So now we've got everything set up to take our pictures. Now what we're going to do is create a few different examples of the images with the lighting we've talked about, and then we're going to try something a little bit different. So here's the first picture of our cupcakes that I really like. We've got a nice side light here, so you can see the swirls and the icing on the top. You can see that curl a lot nicer than when it's lit from the front. Here's the images side by side, so you can see exactly what I mean by the shadows and the texture coming through a lot more on the side light. Okay, so now we've got a really good idea of what the soft side light looks like. So side light is when it's lit from a side. Big shocker. Now what I'm going to try and do is take down my diffuser. So kind of like, I was kind of making the window a giant softbox. Now I'm going to take it down. It's going to be a bit hard light. Granted, I live in Scotland. It's a very cloudy day. The light is still pretty soft. I wouldn't recommend doing it if the sun was beaming down. Also, this is a north facing window, so I'm going to get quite a nice diffused light throughout the day anyway. What we're going to do now is I'm going to try backlighting these cupcakes. So this is kind of, the light is going to be coming from the back. This is going to create some really nice shadows because I've also gone for a much harder light just so you can see a nice difference. These are our cupcakes with a harsher and backlight. So there's no diffuser on the light now, so we're going to have much darker, deeper shadows, and the light's coming from the back. So those shadows are coming towards us, and this gives a really nice textured look to the top of the cupcakes. This is a really nice lighting for food because it gives a lot of textured look to the top of food, especially if you're doing pies or if you're doing bowls and things. The way I tend to think about it is taller things look best with side lighting, shorter things look best with backlighting. Both ways are completely fine for you to use. Have a go just moving around your subject or the light and seeing which one works best for your subject. It's always nice to have both. I've taken images here with backlighting and side lighting, and I think they both look really, really nice, and they both look really good. Neither one is wrong. They give a completely different feel. What I'm going to do now is use a reflector, and this is going to bounce some of that light back in. Not too much light so it looks front lit, but just enough to diffuse those shadows and make them look a little less harsh, and put some of that light back onto the front of the cupcakes because we do still want to be able to see the cupcake. So first of all, we need to get our reflector. What I'm using is just a bit of white foam board. You can use some white card, some white foam, anything white, even just a sheet of white paper, and prop it up against something. Half of my reflectors are just white paper, double-sided sticky tape to some card. Then what we're going to do is just pop it opposite the light. So here the light's kind of at the back, and I'm going to pop it just in front of that light so it's bouncing some of that light back into the cupcakes. Here is a video I took on my camera of me moving the reflector in front and then away, just so you can see exactly what a difference that makes to your image. Thanks for watching this video, guys. That's everything I have today about lighting for food photography. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comments below and give this video a thumbs up. Get cupcakes